Howdy folks, Monty here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's another 5 White Dwarfs. Got an interesting feedback actually associated with the last one. With people that are watching it episodically and watching it through, I got the sense that recording these long format videos, I don't know, it just struck me that if you've been doing short format videos for the longest time, then people are going to like the short format, and if you move into long format, who knows what's going to happen anyway. Without further ado, here are the 5 White Dwarfs. 143, 142, 141, White Dwarf number 91, this is a favourite of mine, and White Dwarf number 85. There we go. So let's start off with White Dwarf number 85. How's that positioned? It looks okay to me. It's hard because these are a slightly larger format than White Dwarf became. RuneQuest Special Extra Length Adventure. Wow. Blood Bowl, a game of fantasy football. So this dates it, January 1987. We have Blood Bowl. Look, with not even the characters, with just tiles representing the players. Interesting stuff. So who's the editor? We're still Mike Brunton, the late Mike Brunton. Rest in peace. Got a bunch of different stuff. Any interesting, got Graham Davis, Steve Farrier doing the new Bushido. Any interesting Greg Stafford. Letter section this month, the bees. I don't know what the bees means. Oh, results and gobbledygook. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Terry Pratchett and the Goblin. Wow. Meanwhile, it's a reader's poll and practice and small ads. The small print that's fit to read. Here we go. Issue 85, January 1987. Oh yes. We start off good. With a bunch of advanced Dungeons and Dragons. This was the time. The Creatures catalogue. Interesting. Tim Brinsley reviews it. The Wilderness Survival Guide. I don't think I have the Wilderness Survival Guide. No, I don't. There are a bunch of D&D stuff, but not the Wilderness Survival Guide, and not the Creatures Catalogue either. So these are obviously TSR UK, I would imagine, potentially. Anyway, who knows? And this one, Queen of the Spiders, which is an AD&D adventure game. And look, it's actually branded AD&D. Perfect. Interesting. By Peter Green. So, we have a bestiary, robots, a traveller supplement. The text was much denser in these issues. Robot warriors, this is the mail order. Imperial Earth, Night in Gotham, Crystal Barrier. Here we have some pretties. We've got David Bowie. Is that David Bowie? Labyrinth. David Bowie. That's David Bowie. Oh, I like these. I've got that one. I do like the familiars though. They are beauties. And I've got that one. I think I've got that one. I'm pretty sure I've got that one too. Interesting. Chaos Sorcerers. So this is for Warhammer Fantasy roleplay by the looks of things. Stick with Virgin, Critical Mass. Get stuck in the dungeon. Interesting. Ooh, look at this. New Citadel miniatures. Some beauties here. Skeleton Standard Bearer. I think that's Rochi has that in his Undead Army, which I'm the present owner of. Dwarf Adventurers. Ooh, Lord of the Rings. More than skin deep. Interesting stuff. We have Halfling, Gnome. I guess that's Gnome. I guess that's Halfling. Half Orc, Halfling, Gnome. Half Elf, Elf, and Dwarf. There were never any half dwarves. They just didn't breed, I guess. Could be the genetics are completely different too. Half Orc, Halfling, Gnome. Oh, this is the same thing. Races and places, interesting. Oh, I do like myself some Grenadier models. I do like the big undead. I've got a big death, which I think was a Grenadier model. Fantasy Lords range. Dragon Lords. Oh, some beauties here. It's funny that Games Workshop's publication White Dwarf used to feature all other miniature manufacturers. Happy New Year. Is it Happy New Year? We in January? Welcome to my memory, January. Yes, Happy New Year. Thrud the Barbarian meets Judge Dredd. Yes, quite literally. Thrud the Barbarian meets Judge Dredd. On the road, encounters with Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. To boldly go. Ooh, the works of Gary Gygax, Franz Mitzer, and Kevin Bryant. We have to send it to Chicago, Illinois. US funds only. Please add $5 for overseas orders. Ooh. A module was only $4.95. Here we go. Games Workshop, Chewton Street, Hilltop, Eastwood, Nottingham. Entertainers. This is the Japanese culture. Bushido. Interesting. Oh, back issues of White Dwarf. They were so chunky back in the day. These are standard game, standard miniatures. We have a piece of land. Cavern entrance. Ooh, setting new standards. Rune Quest. Fantasy roleplay adventure. Ooh, we got a little branding of Games Workshop on Rune Quest. Interesting. Last thick page. Oh, this is a central one. Creating an adventure game system. This is much thinner White Dwarf than I'm used to, actually. Rune Quest. So these Rune Quest are these mixed metaphors, are these beasts. A tale to tell. Ooh, I do like these 3D maps. That was one of the things. Was it Dragonlance? Dragonlance had the 3D maps too. I do like them. A tale to tell. News, Leeds, Games Workshop, Baltimore. Oh, I think I remember seeing that ad for Games Workshop, Baltimore. Now we get it. Dragons, heavy metal dragons. Look at these nice ones here. I should get out my dragon, actually. He's got a broken tail, but I still keep him close. He's one of my miniatures that I purchased when I was 10, I think. I'd done a lot of work for my grandparents and uncles at the time, which is what I used to do in my summers. I used to go to a place called Adelaide and stay there, and I would do odd jobs for them. Occasionally, actually, not odd jobs. I did some painting and dug some trenches for one uncle, and painted a house for another uncle. Did a bunch of things to earn money, and I would buy miniatures with the money. Anyway, I bought this beautiful dragon, which I will probably show in an upcoming video. I've always considered restoring the tail. I probably should restore the tail at some stage. But the tail's been broken off for quite some time. In the order of, I guess, 30 odd years, maybe more. Illumination. Ooh. The heroic role-playing game. Look at this. You can play Spider-Man. Jump Force. Creatures Catastrophe. Oh my goodness, these are the letters. Ooh, these are some nice dragons. These Citadel miniature Dungeons and Dragons. Look at that. I don't know. I don't know if that dragon captures that image. Not quite. Spirit Games is moving. You've got to love the moving sales, or the moving announcements. Black Wolf Fireland. Complete science fiction role-playing system. North London Specialist Games, Leisure Games. Fracas. Return of the Reader's Poll. Competition results, Warhammer, Discworld, and a couple of prizes. Well, they've got Terry Pratchett books. It's interesting. It's interesting because there was a video about how Terry Pratchett was going to write for the Warhammer fiction. Ooh, further into fantasy. Look at this. Standalone play by mail. It's a beautiful dragon. Games World. Unchain the Demons. Grenadier, Citadel, Asgard. Ooh, look at that. So small ads, Metal Magic Games Fair Convention, Reading University, TSR. Oh, rooms. Fellow once tried to send me this in PDF form. He's long-term. Actually, I think he's a long-term viewer of this particular YouTube channel. So shout-outs to you, my friend in Northern Ireland whose name escapes me. Dixon Christmas Shopping Guide. It's New Year, folks, but I guess many would still be considering that. Oh, I've got to like the Citadel Journal. I actually have this one somewhere. D&G Games. The Warlock Game Shop. Southend. That looks strangely familiar. I think we've seen it quite previously. The Games Master in Edinburgh. Dear me. So on the back, we have Grimworld, A Perilous Adventure, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I have this book. It's a beautiful book. Should get it out and show it on one of these videos sometime. Leave a comment in the description if you'd like to. Comment in the comments if you'd like me to do that. Let's put this one aside. Oh, this is a favourite of mine. Issue 91. There's a whole discussion associated with Citadel Miniatures moving to Nottingham or something like that there. I remember this issue well. Anyway, we're in July 1987, and look at this. We've got some beauties here. Sleazy Rider, Skaven War Machine. Look, the Skaven are still getting out there. Zote, for those interested. And this is Mike Brunton. 1987. Let's just go through it. I won't read the table of contents. Open box. Dungeon Lairs. Heroes. Who watches the Watchmen? Interesting. Mail order. Mordor. Tank Leader. I remember Tank Leader. This was I think a World War III game, if I'm right. Eastern Front Lead Tank. Oh, it might be a World War II. No, it's a World War II game. Interesting. We have a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons related stuff. A Book of Lairs, Part 2. I wonder if that was a 4-part series. Chainsaw Warrior 2. Not an expansion kit, but a whole new game. Well, well, well. Oh my goodness. Lots of greenskins. It doesn't say who actually made them. Some dwarven villagers. Look at this guy. I like the Elder. I like him in particular. I wonder if they're slaughter bases. Got Gothic horror. They have to be slaughter bases because they've got the choose base for miniatures, or choose bases for miniatures. Interesting. So they must be slaughter based. Doubles, snotlings, monsters, a young dragon. Orc 4, the Doom Brothers. Interesting. I think I've got that guy. Don't think I have that one. Ooh, Death in the Reich. Speaker for the Dead. Ghosties, ghoulies, and squid. Fundamental laws of Cthulhu mythos. Interesting. Thread the Barbarian's got nothing to do with Cthulhu. This isn't even a crossover comic. Interesting. Quotes for the Newer Testament. Interesting. It doesn't even say what game system it is. There we go. These pages are not stuck together. But the Gold Demon Awards for 1987. It's got to be an interesting set. Bob Ollie is coming at Iron Claw. Yeah, he did do some amazing work with Bob Ollie. Anyway. Derek the Troll. Imperial Earth, a science fiction role-playing game. You've got to love these hands and swords and various bits and pieces. I wonder how many of these things still stand. The Severed Hand. A Matter of Pride. Dungeons and Dragons Adventure by Carl Sargent. An Imperial Dragon. Look at that thing. That's a dragon that means business right there. Doesn't look like it's eaten many adventurers though. It looks rather a skeletal dragon. Dungeons and Dragons Gazettier. I don't know a Gazettier. Grand Duchy of Caramelios? I don't know. It all begins here. Kinda Gentler Time. The underground travel. Gosh. This artwork. I mean, it's just, filler artwork, but still. Buy and save at Game Center. You get Rollmaster. Improve your character when you buy Rollmaster. Improve your character. Maybe that's a joke. Robot Warriors. Space Master Champion. Interesting. Got some wilderness maps here. Little Lost Warbot. Paranoia Wilderness. So this is the game Paranoia. I'm assuming it's the game Paranoia. I do like the Daleks wearing sombreros. It's an interesting mixed metaphor. This isn't the issue I thought it was, or maybe it gets into it later. Oh, we're going to have to rotate these. Skeletons. Some nice skeletons here. I like this one with the teeth. This one coming up from the ground. These are some beauties. And then we have feudals, which look pretty feudal. Some of them look more Lord Chase. Cedric. Yes, I don't know if feudals would be what I'd call these, but yeah, certainly beauties. Okay. Nobilizer. Paul Cockburn, James Gruber. Who's this guy? I don't know. Phil Gallagher. It's not Phil Gallagher, I don't think. You gotta love these. What do you call them? Are they retinues or what are they? Hangers on, perhaps. The wives that travelled with their husbands into battle. Well, or behind the battle, but anyway. Got some nobles. Is there a rule system this is for? Not that it matters in the past. Oh, nobilizer. So these are just nobles. And it's got to be Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Ooh, some pictures. A hard act to follow. The public order of the British-based Call of the Cthulhu campaigns. By Mark Lee. Ooh. Stood in front of that place with Steve Jackson. The original, is that the original store? Oh no, it's the Liverpool grand opening, okay. Scratch that. It's not the London store. It's the Liverpool grand opening. He looks like a right Liverpudlian, doesn't he? They all look like right Liverpudlians, actually. It's what, 2 decades? 2 decades? Yeah, 2 decades after the Beatles. Games Workshop Derby. Speaking of the Beatles, the Beaties. Interesting. Got some RuneQuest here. Rogue Trooper. I remember Rogue Trooper as a game that was advertised. Of course, Chainsaw Warrior. Some real classics here. Arise, Sir Knight. Interesting. Milliput and the Bloody Thumb. I don't have the manual of the planes in my D&D books, but there are some beauties. Milliput solder. Can you imagine using solder with your minis? Oh, here are some nice ones. got a couple of these. A Skaven. Look at these miniatures. On the back of a motorcycle. Is that an orc of some description? I don't know. I wish that one was zoomed in so I could get a better view of it. I do feel like I should be doing some of these reviews with magnifying glasses. It's for my own benefit. Oh, the famous dragon with Milliput, I think. John Branch, Rick Priestley. Is Rick Priestley in the photos? Sid. There's Sid. He figures in a lot, huh? Yes. The age of 1987. Yes, these are faces from 1987, very much so. Weird World, The King Must Die. Standard games, standard miniatures. Ooh, Blood on the Snow. Look at this. Warhammer Fantasy Battle Scenario for 2 to 4 players and Games Master. You've got to love games, war games that have Games Masters. Absolutely critical. Here we go. Oh, we got a Dwarven detachment, some human troops, some Goblin Slaughterers. Are they goblins that are slaughterers, or are they slaughterers of goblins, I guess? Blood Gobbers Orc Horde. Oh, look at this. Blood on the Snow. They actually have the outpost. Interesting. A Dwarven outpost. A farm. Oh my goodness. The White Dwarfs letters page. I've got to find the White Dwarf that I need. Just for posterity. Dixon's Ninja. Allies, Axis, Armies. Shout out to my man Andy Dixon who watches these videos. He's been a long-time subscriber and also a listener of some of my various podcasts. I've actually met Andy Dixon. I had a curry in his kitchen with his wife and son and my wife. It was very nice. Temple Games for London. And the home counties, Leisure Games. Look at this. Glass War figures. Interesting. Glass War. Or is it Class War? It's probably Class War figures. Does it say? It doesn't actually say. Nowhere says Class War or Glass War. I think it's Class War. It must be Class War. Because they were kind of working class related stuff around them. Games Day 87. Look at this. Ooh, speaking of Road Trooper. Road Trooper here. Orc's Nest. This must be the first year of the Orc's Nest, I think. Very nice. And the back is Stormbringer. Michael Moorcock, Stormbringer, fantasy roleplay in the world of Erleric. I think if I was one of my podcast listeners, I would know what the world of Erleric was. Anyway, so we're out of the old and into the, well, slightly newer. Starting with issue 141. So these were, I feel like I need to give an introduction. I think this is the early 90s. Yes, 91. And it was just a completely different era. I mean, it was only literally a year or two from the ones that I normally show in my videos. But things were completely different. The colours were different. The images were different. The styles of painting was different. The models were very different. We're not really in the rise of great plastics yet, but ooh. I've done Space Hulk Campaign, right? You've seen that on my very channel if you've watched through. So we're in September 1991. We have Andy Jarvis Johnson, Andy Jones, Mike McVeigh, and Rick Priestley. And Robin Hughes is the editor. Robin Hughes made famous by various, many pursuits actually. Robin Hughes is very well known to the YouTube folk, and he's got books out and all kinds of exciting stuff. Audited at let's try this again. Audited at 63,847. Wow, an odd number of copies a month. I wonder, I guess if they're selling ads, that's why you need to be audited. Anyway, let's have a look through this thing. Games Workshop store news. US and Canadian retail stores. California had 2. Santa Monica. Actually, no, California is alone. It's not doing... So by this time, I went to an independent game store in LA and bought some Imperial Guard in 91, I would say. So what time? 91? September, yes. So this is 2 months after I did that. I don't know if we could find the... it's an independent stockist. If we see independent stockists, we might stop and have a look through that. Games Workshop Australia. Yep, this is the beginning of the end for Games Workshop Australia. Well, actually, it's the long history of Games Workshop Australia. I don't know if there are Games Workshop. Yes, there are still Games Workshops in Australia. There's one in Sydney that I've been to, in the centre of Sydney. So, White Dwarf editor. As of last issue, Simon Forrest has handed over the tasks of compiling and editing to Robin Hughes. For the past few months, Simon has been involved in developing a range of projects such as Space Hulk Campaigns book and the new rules for Space Fleet. Interesting stuff. Dragon Masters. Another project is currently working its way through the studio in Dragon Masters, an exciting new board game created by award-winning games designer Ian Livingston. Fancy that. Confrontation. Interesting. D-Rock on Warhammer Records. See if I can get that in the picture. Space Marine D-Rock. Cy vocals, Chai guitars, John McMorris bass, Al Mogg on drums, with special thanks to Brian May for guitar on Get Out of My Way. Brian May of Queen fame, frequently pictured in these bags. So it's Space Fleet, not Space Freak, that's another thing. Space Marine, epic again, but look at the colours. The colours are completely different. Everything is more vibrant and less dark, and I do like the Space Marines. The Terminators here. Look at this. You've got towns, cities, and different kids. Games Workshop Vancouver and Toronto. Canadian grand openings. Buy any 2 red dot items in either store and get 1 free yellow dot item. Interesting. Oh, these are red dot items, and that's a yellow dot item. Interesting. And these are red dot items. Mike McVeigh's Wood Elf Army. You see, this is really the start of Monopo's armies. Got ways of painting bows. Look at this. I mean, there's absolutely no variation. Here we go. Yes, these are outside the remit of my interest in wood elves, but they're a thing. You can't argue that they're not a thing. Lots of putting together bits of metal thing. Games Day 91 Gaming League Championships. Saturday 21st of September from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Assembly Room Derby. Ooh, D-Rock, Get Out of My Way. This is the one that features Brian May on guitars. Ooh, Derby City. Oh, look at this. Advanced HeroQuest tournament. Ooh, that's a nice dwarf army. You've got a late marauder doing army deals. Craft World versus Blood Angels. Do we actually get to see the minis here, or no? Just images. Oh, and here we go. This is what we're looking for. Ooh, some nice Terminators there. Not really a lot of diversity. Set up on turn 1. Turn 2. Turn 3. Turn 4. Ooh, look at these gold demons. So these are interesting. Single miniature. Single miniature. Interesting. Scratch built blade. Look at this thing. You can tell the plastic card. Space Wolf Captain. Space Fleet. Simon Forrest and Andy Jones. Eldar flagships, Imperial flagships. Do we actually see them? No. Subscription special offer. Now there was, I think, by this point, a US White Dwarf as well. Should pull that one out actually. Issue 71. I wonder if that's Dragon Warriors. I mean, it's Dragon Warriors image on the front, so I'd imagine it was Dragon Warriors, but it would be interesting to see that. It's another favourite of mine. A whole series of favourites actually that I should probably pull out. We've done a review on that one. How many of these have we done a review on? I think just that one. I don't think we did 110. Anyway. Oh, here we have the Gothic ships. Flagship. The spacecraft. Stalwart export ship. Stalwart export ship. Interesting. Games Workshop production stuff. Real-tell career opportunities. Scenarios. Scenario table. Space Dock. Not to be confused with Space Duck. Subplots. Here we go, mail order. I think it's coming to the end. We've got to have some beautiful minis. Okay. Well, I do like the Elven Attack Chariot. I do like these spindly wheels. Elven Attack Chariot. Oh, these are the steeds. These are the characters. All war dancers now. I've got a bunch of these. So I do actually like these miniatures. It's just the painting. There's nothing dark and mysterious about the painting in this period. You've got to love this image. More wood elves, very good. Was these marked as wood elves or were these marked as elves? No, wood elves are marked as wood elves or otherwise. Interesting. I've got a smattering of these. Oh, and Space Fleet Gothic. Interesting. So we have Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay modules, I guess you call them modules. Who knows? And on the back, looking very fantastic and bright, we have Eldar versus Space Marines. Anyway. 142. Are we going backwards? No, we're going forwards. So this I would assume is October, hopefully. Let us see. October 1991. Robin Hughes, Simon Forrest, James Johnson, Mike McVeigh, and Rick Priestley are pictured. Space Marine. Okay, now, no, these are still retail stores. These aren't stockists. Warhammer Fantasy Battle Undead Army. Let's have a look at these. Rank and file. Oh, let me rotate. Yes, I've got one of these thanks to my man, Rochi. You've got to love the Skeleton Death Riders. Let's rotate this. See if it's full beauty. Look at that. Interesting. Now, Wizard. There's a lot going on with this army. Painting skeletons by Mike McVeigh. It's interesting that they, I mean, I guess the bases are kind of shiny and bright. But, yeah, what was going for 40k was still pretty dark for fantasy. Looks like my man Fred Reed, but I don't think it's Fred Reed. Retail staff, production staff. Interesting. Questions and Answers by Simon Forrest. Ooh, a nice image, if ever there was one. Hallways. Gosh, this is like a later be called a FARC, I guess. Space Marine, a guide to Painting your epic scale forces by Mike McVeigh. Preparing to paint. Varnishing. Ultramarines, Blood Angels, and Dark Angels. These are not too shabby. Do like the Blood Angels. Not too shabby at all. Another rotate. Look at this. Spanning out. It's always funny where you just see one army. I guess the one army kind of facing as if they're going to be attacked across the water. Maybe they're just moving along. Black Sail, Warhammer Fantasy Story by Neil McIntosh. Ooh, I do like that image. They credit the artists along here on the sides, which is very nice. Okay, look at these giant ogres. You don't just want big ogres, you want giant ogres. Space Marine Imperial Titan weapons. Front, side and rear. Gargant weapons. Front, side and rear again. Special cards. Confrontation weapons. Interesting. Firearms, ammunition. These look very much like Games Workshop weapons. Flamers. Conversion beam projector, flamer, heavy flamer, oh sorry, hand flamer. Missile launcher, multi-melter, melter gun. Hand bow, marine scout knife, las cannon, las gun, las pistol. Shuriken, plasma gun, plasma pistol. Orc heavy plasma gun, look at that. Shotgun, auto pistol, stub gun, auto gun. Interesting. Here we go. Ooh, there's some nice skeletons here. Always been a fan of that guy. We've got Reaver Titans, Titan heads and weapons. Oh, Gargant. And the skeleton army. This is the plastic skeleton army. Interesting. Interesting. Well, back here we have a Ultramarines army modelled and painted by the staff. Oh, Games Workshop leads. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So, is this our last issue? This is our last issue. We did 141, 142, and this is 143. So I'm assuming this is November. And it is. We have Dragon Masters, which was told about. It's a board game. We have Rick Priestley, Andy Chambers, Jarvis Johnson, Tim Powell, and Rob Hooper. November 1991. Games Workshop stores. Ah, so no, these are still US retail stores. I don't think I went to the one on Santa Monica Boulevard. Santa Monica. So yes, we need to have US independent stockists. We need to find the UCLA games. Oh, I do like this one. Games Day 91. These are the finals. These are the various finals. So I think the 40A finals seem to be a lot more tense than the Fantasy Battle finals. Just a personal observation. This is a mega prize, gosh. White Dwarf Reader's Survey mega prize. Here's D-Rock Oblivion. D-Rock, get out of my way. Oh, I'm a fan of this one. I've got a few of them. These are Trish Morrison, I believe. Whatever she's called now. She's not called Morrison now, but anyway. Games Workshop and Citadel News. Games Workshop Oxford 24-hour battle. Gosh. Games Workshop US. Okay, we've already seen this. We want independent stockists in the US, which are probably in the US White Dwarfs. Space Marine Stompers by Rick Priestley. Old Dreadnoughts. Eldar Dreadnoughts. Shock Attack Guns. Grey Knights. Chaos Dreadnoughts. Interesting. Space Marine Data Cards. Games Workshop Terror in the Dark for Advanced Hero Quest. Ooh, yes. These are the paint schemes. Building a coaching inn and stables for Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Courtyard and stable block. Look at this. Quite a few pages are devoted to this. Games Workshop Sheffield. Games Workshop gift vouchers, perfect to answer all those terrible Christmas present dilemmas. Man of War, some beautiful pictures here. Who's credited with the pictures? Andy Jones and Nigel Stillman, perhaps. John Blanche, specifically here. Games Workshop Retail Star Space Marine. Oh, this is a Space Marine battle. Elder player, Jobs Johnson. Space Marine player, Angie Chambers. Interesting. Ooh, look at them. Pictures of the armies. Facing off against each other. Yeah, show photos of the battle, which is nice. Nice indeed. Turn 5. Oh, here we go. Conclusion. Look at these. Heavy metal. Epic scale heavy metal. Armies and Imperium. Imperial Guard colour schemes. Interesting. Not in colour. Codex colours. So it's just talking about them, as opposed to giving them a... Oh, well, here we go. Colour and camouflage. Interesting. Interesting. Sulphur Desert. I like that. Battle Green. Night World Apocalypse Red. Polar White. Interesting. Gorgon Close Assault Vehicle. Stompers. Oh, I do like these. I do like these Lance Leaders. Oh, and quite a crop of Space Marines. Majority are Beakies, even though some aren't Beakies, apparently, allegedly. Tanks and War Machines, Imperial Tanks and War Machines, Imperial Tanks, War Machines. Epic Stompers, the Space Marine. Interesting. And finally, we have some plastic skeletons, Undead Hordes, and Bretonnian Knights in battle against the Undead Hordes. Bretonnian Knights here, Undead Hordes here. And I think the Undead Hordes, I think, have a slightly better colour scheme, but, you know. Okay, so what have we done here? 143, 142, 141. These are all the UK editions, by the way. Then we have 91, and 85. Another 5 white dwarves, ladies and gentlemen. So enjoy and leave a comment about how you're watching these, if you like them or if you want me to go back to single white dwarf reviews. Anyway, Tom Barbalet, Las Vegas, Nevada, signing out.